Maria is our,
Sorry.
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Julian. Esther Santa Maria is our National Account Executive. She has introduced the senior executive team from Kustom. I looked them up on the computer because I'm a New York person. They have a long history, 50 years in business, very positive reviews. I'm looking forward to working with them. Well, hopefully we never need them, but if we do, I'm very confident in their team of people that they dispatch to us. So I'm so glad we got this off the ground. And thanks to Donald and our president, Fausto Fabro, that we made this happen this year. So I'm a little bit more relieved. So maybe Esther, just tell us a little bit about what your plans are. Fausto mentioned that we could work in the conference room, but you would also have a command center on the premises, and just to relieve our apprehension a little bit.
Thank you, Suzanne. So, we really will strategize on what are the needs of the association, and that's kind of why we're here today. To kind of do a meet and greet. We brought in the executives to really get a grip on the account and what is going to be needed, what are the expectations. So, as we mentioned in the past, associations will bring in our mobile command center. We're happy to stage here if you would like us in this room. It's actually perfect for us because I know Mike and I were chatting and there's a generator. So this is kind of what we bring to a site when we need to operate. So the fact that it's already here and established, we're happy to make this our command center. And then the way I've worked it in the past when there's associations that have different entities is I personally would be here along with the support team, depending on the kind of damage and property damage, how bad the storm was. We'll bring additional personnel to support as needed. And then I would be working with the board of directors in every condo that had damage to kind of get approval, get understanding, get a scope in place, get them the proper remediation procedures in place. So, usually that's kind of the way it goes. We will come here, we'll stage, we'll have our operations team here, project managers, our laborers and everything to support. I know that I talked to Donald, he's gonna send me a map of the property to kind of start getting familiar on having, just the more proactive we are in a community like this and the more understanding and partnership that we build prior to any damage that we may face, it's really that's what's going to set us up and the key for success, right? When we really understand the needs of the account. So that's why we kind of brought in our team today, just so that we understand what are the resources. We really want to build this partnership and be here to support you all. We know that property damage is known every time that there's a hurricane, but these are things that on a regular you're experiencing property damage, right? There's floods, there's fires, there's molds. So we really want to be a resource and just be here to support. I know Christy's here often. I can come in, we can commit to that on a weekly, so that we really, because what's happening and we see out on the field a lot is that, some board members in different communities may not have an understanding of, what partnerships they're building, what companies are coming in. And you have local companies that sometimes will say, hey, we'll be there. But then they're not because they don't have enough resources. So, I'm happy we put this agreement in place. We are a national company and the goal is to build it where, the community is prepared. I know Joanne shared we can kind of prepare a hurricane preparedness video for your broadcasting channel. And it's about driving education to the community, right? Like being prepared, knowing what the steps are, because we're going to be here, right? But a lot of these people, it's a large community, so they almost feel like they're on their own island if they're not if they're not here, they're not aware. So just kind of driving that message across to the community of, hey guys, we have a plan in place. We're here to support. These are your resources. Everyone here should have my cell phone. I'm happy to share my business card, and I will be the point of contact mainly, like on your day-to-day losses and even in a hurricane. You call me and you say, hey Esther, we need help here. Or hey Esther, this isn't a hurricane related, but we have a mold issue. Can your team come in and assess? Can you guys provide us a proposal? Hey Esther, we're having roofing issues. This building may need, can you help? We really want to be that resource to drive value on, day to day. That's what partnerships are really all about. And that's kind of what we pride ourselves in. I come from the condo side, so I understand the importance of having a vendor that you can call anytime and they're going to drive a solution. So, because there's always problems, right? I saw Donald running out of here. It's like, we get it. I've been there. So that's kind of where we're at. We just want to kind of be here, know that we know what restoration companies are kind of imaged as, and like we get a call we don't want to make. Well, we wanna make it pleasant, we're like, you know what, let me call Esther, let me call Kustom, they're gonna have a solution for us versus, create
And
more
Esther,
problems.
yeah,
Yeah.
Esther, one more thing. We were talking once before and you were mentioning how much manpower you actually have locally or where you're dispatched. So maybe give our committee a little bit better idea of how many employees you have, and are they independent contractors or they're employees of Kustom, and how they would be dispatched to an area. Let's say we unfortunately see a lot of devastation. So how much manpower can we, count on?
Course. So we are a local company here, right? We have local presence, but we're national. So in a situation like that, we're very proactive and mobilizing in because we know that a community of this size is gonna need not just our local branch, but you're gonna need support from our other areas and from our large loss division, which is strictly for that, right? For a disaster to deploy enough resources. So, I mean, I'll let kind of Kevin and Antoinette chime in if they'd like, but we have manpower where if you say, hey, Esther, we have our own guys and then we outsource different, depending on the project, where we need 500 individuals for labor, we have that kind of support and that comes with our large loss division, but I'll let Kevin kind of
Yeah, and just,
highlight.
so we've got the local offices here in this market to support, but the national team that Esther referenced, they're based out of Orlando. So we have our hub, warehouses for the national team is based out of Orlando, but our corporate office, where Andy and I office out of, and the leaders of the organization are out of Orlando as well. So God forbid you guys were to have something happen in this community, you would have our best and brightest and access to our resources nearly local, right? Just up in Orlando, which is beneficial to not be micro local so that it's outside of any issues that you guys incur and we can deploy down.
Very good.
Yeah, and just to kind of highlight on what Kevin said as well, and it goes back to partnerships, understanding the account, understanding what the needs are. It's as long as it's safe, our team mobilizes in prior, right? So once that storm has passed, we're ready to get to work, right? And it's not like, hey, we are gonna pull people from, Texas and it's gonna take us a few days to get there. Like that's the benefit of working with a company that's already here and then has resources that they'll be able to bring in.
Yeah, we can immediately get boots on the ground, for any soft assessments. And then once, if we identify anything from that, we can move in with your approval to do that. I also wanted to add that when you work with Kustom, you're working with a company, as Suzanne had shared earlier, we've been in business since 1968. And Andrew here has really built a solid operations team throughout the entire company. So when you're working with Kustom, we take safety very seriously. Safety meetings are held every morning with the crews. And we make sure that everyone is in uniform and identifiable by any of the residents here. And then, they each have a task to do. And at the end of every day, you are going, each board member and the managers will get, and all the stakeholders will get a daily project management report, letting you know, initially it'll be, our assessment. And then as the days progress in the mitigation phase, we will provide you with, what we accomplished that day and what the plan is for the next day, so that you can see the progression of the project.
I think it's important for us to echo what Esther mentioned. In the wake of a storm, that's what everybody focuses on, but our focus is really driving on the partnerships to become your easy button. So in a day-to-day, like I like to joke, like if you don't know who to call Kustom, or in this case, Esther, right? Literally want to be the easy button for you and your whole community for anything that pops up. As she mentions, driving the solutions to make your lives easier, because if we're not making your lives easier, then we're not gonna be a valued partner. So we take it very responsible that we have to earn this partnership every day with you guys.
And don't pick up the phone or hesitate picking up the phone because you think it's gonna generate an invoice. Just because you call Esther and she solicits resources, it might be, sending you completely different direction, but we've got to drive value back to you guys on a daily basis, regardless of what it means in a P&L perspective. So we want to get a regular cadence of working with you guys, so we get acquainted and we get fluid. I mean, like how many sports teams go play Super Bowls without training every day, every week, every year, and working together? So by virtue of working together, if it's as simple as a phone call, hey, what do I do with this situation or that situation? Or simple little seemingly mundane losses are opportunities for us to come together and learn and grow together. And it just translates into a better service at the time of need in the wake of a disaster. It gives me anxiety to run into a situation in the wake of a disaster, not knowing the client and their specific interests, their desires, and how they like to have things done in that capacity, because every client's different and we want to be malleable and we want to dovetail our services to your needs, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well stated, well stated. And Esther, I have a question on what procedure you'd like us to follow. Let's say there's a tremendous loss in the village. And so what would be the process that we would advertise in Donald's weekly newsletter with your cell telephone number? Or how do we work this so it's pretty smooth and you can't handle 10 phone calls at a time? So what would be the process that we could put in writing to everybody in the village that in the event of a loss to your building, this is what you should do?
Suzanne, everything should come through this office.
Okay,
Everything should come through the UCO office. In case of a disaster, this is why we're here. Search is here, the offices are here. We can run 3 weeks on our generator.
okay. So Fausto, the best thing is to have any association contact UCO first?
That's it. That's what
Okay.
the command center. You would have your representative here, we would be here. And this is the way that we've set it up. So instead of everybody going crazy, we have a center point, we have security, we have, we have CERT, we have everything here to facilitate helping the association.
And I would add that once Esther gets on site and the team that we, help to put around her to support her, we could make this the central location where everyone could come to report their loss.
Right.
Also, and then I have a question on the day-to-day, right, like as we're building the partnership, would they're still gonna come to UCO and then you guys would call me? Cause I know that Chrissy's here often because of the needs of the association, so
Right.
I'm happy to pop in, come
Yeah,
every
of course.
week, if, just to kind of support, because like we said, we want to build with you guys, so that's how we're gonna.
That's for our insurance chair to work with you and, if you wanna come in every couple of weeks and just to see what's going on, that's fine.
Okay.
This way we get to learn what you get to learn what our needs are, and we try to help you as much as we can.
Thank you.
I think it will be valuable also for you to familiarize yourself with all the different communications methods that we have with our 7,800 plus, constituents, So we have lots of different ways of communicating because we have a very diverse population, so,
I'll work
Very
with you.
true.
Thank you.
Fausto, I have a question. People that are not, associations that are not in the UCO insurance program, can they just handle the same way by contacting UCO for losses?
That was going to be my question. There are some associations that are not part of the UCO insurance group. But if they came here, would you be able to help them also?
Of course, so this is all about partnership and we understand they need to be part, but of
Right.
course, yeah. And then what they would do is every building's responsible for their own damages either way as their entity, so we would follow the same procedure. They can come here and we'll help them, we'll
But
help them design.
okay. That's what I wanted to hear. I don't want to hear, well, you're not part of our program, so we're not gonna help. No, we don't want that.
Yeah, no,
Plus, we want them back.
Yeah.
And that's what better way.
Of course, absolutely, I will support everyone.
That's good. I don't think I have any other questions because now I understand everything goes through UCO because I'm here new since January. So I don't know a lot of the background, but Fausto has a pretty good control over and his experience. So that's the best way is to have UCO as the point office handling everything and distributing the work.
My second question that I had, there is another group, so-called, that has been out and was solicited to sign as part of their recovery program. should that group fall down and can't help out, will you also help those? Even though they signed with a different group?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are part of the UCO insurance,
Yeah.
but they opted. They said, go to XYZ company because they're gonna do the same thing. While we were in the process of negotiating a contract, someone came in and said, sign the line and we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to help them also.
Absolutely, and we've seen that often in the past, or in that kind of, especially when I was in my property management days. Individuals had agreements, and then in a state of emergency, unfortunately, they weren't getting service, so we're happy to help
Okay.
anyone out in the community that needs.
That's what we wanna hear.
Good, very, very good. I have no other questions because Esther and I have been talking the whole time, so I have a little bit better idea. Again, Donald didn't hear, but I complimented Fausto and Donald for getting this off the ground. It was a little more complex than I originally thought because of the bylaws of UCO and this is a very complex matter. So Esther, I think your experience of having each association listed and they are responsible for their own expenses actually worked. So thank you for that. That was good. That was good. Anybody have any other questions for the executive team?
David,
Yes, thank you, for our company. When does this, I know we signed an agreement, when does this take place? When is this effective?
I mean, it's immediately, upon execution, so we're fully
No,
executed.
what date is it effective?
So I think it was signed yesterday,
Yeah,
July
effective
15th.
yesterday.
Yeah, July.
So it's already in effect.
Yeah, it's in place, yeah.
it's a yearly renewable contract
So
upon its
is
birthday?
it yearly?
Yeah, it's evergreen, so yeah, it's anticipated that it's renewable.
Yeah.
No. What just happened?
I only see you.
What happened?
Joanne fixes everything. She'll be able to fix.
We can see
That's
you.
it.
Did we drop off?
What
Joyce?
happened?
I don't know, what happened?
Nothing happened here.
Nothing happened here.
She is too short.
Any other questions?
Oh, I have one question for Andrew. How is it that you became the CEO of Kustom? Just out of curiosity, because you're not, you can't be working 50 years. You're a young guy. So
Right.
just tell us a little background of how you got to be CEO of Kustom.
So the business was founded by my grandparents, my dad, uncle, two aunts, July 29th of 68. So we're coming up on 56 years. So I was initially exploited child labor. I didn't know what a paycheck was. I just know that I was told to do certain things, and if I didn't do it, I didn't get to eat. So I like to eat a lot, so I worked. So pretty simple, right? So went away to college and got done with college and didn't know what I wanted to do. Go figure, right? My grandpa and my dad said, well, if you want to come into the family business, you got to go into a building trades apprenticeship after college. I was devastated. So I did it, 5-year building trades apprenticeship, worked in the field for 10 years, loved it, had a great time. Really learned about people and operations, business, and how the machine worked. So it was in 2000 that I talked my dad into selling the business to me. And it was a pretty long conversation, a lot of arm wrestling, but we got it done. So that's the quick snapshot, 56 seconds and 58 years or 56.
Yeah, long
56
time.
years and 56 seconds, but yeah, I was born and raised into the business and ultimately followed my grandfather's and my dad's footsteps. So again, can't thank you guys enough for the opportunity to be here today. Look forward to getting to know you better through an organic process, and that's really why we're here today. To really
Yeah,
understand
thank you.
what
Thank
the
you,
needs are.
Yeah, and because of your grandparents and your father and your aunts, they developed a good work ethic in you. Because just by talking to Esther, I see what kind of operation you have. I'm very confident in your manpower skills to help us out, because this is a pretty big thing, this village here.
Absolutely, and it's something that we've obviously been talking about quite a bit in terms of resourcing and making sure that we're ready to answer the phone day to day, or God forbid, in the event of a disaster, that we're ready to lean in here and support you guys. And so just note that we don't approach these events, we've never approached these events from the perspective, hey, there's a big event, let's just go try to sign a bunch of contracts and see what happens. So we don't, we really work hard to focus our resources on strategic partnerships that we want to build a long-term relationship with. So that's really what's important to us. And that's what it's going to get us through, 100 years of being in business. It's that type of focus.
Yeah.
So any questions?
I like the fact that you bought the business.
I did.
You didn't inherit it.
No, I didn't inherit it. In fact,
Smart father you had.
I mean, he did not want to retire, and I was ready for the seat. So we arm wrestled for a little bit. We came to an agreement, and I paid him for about, I think it was 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had to pledge my house. No, I'm not kidding you. He was a ball buster. I had to pledge my house to buy the business.
And two
he's like,
kids,
pardon?
and your house and 2 kids.
I tried to offer all 3 kids. He wouldn't take them.
Child labor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So no, it's great to be here, and thank you again for the opportunity. We're all just a phone call away, and I have no doubt that Esther will be tremendous for you guys. She's got a deep operational understanding in terms of what you guys need to accomplish. And so I look forward to the opportunity to prove ourselves.
Thank you, Andrew. It was a nice story. And I just wanted to add one thing about Esther. Several times, Esther and I were texting each other 11 o'clock at night. I know she doesn't sleep. If she gets a phone call, I know how she operates. I can tell already. So I'm very confident in her skills. So looking forward to working with you as well. And I hope we don't need you this hurricane season.
Esther, I made 4 or 5 copies of the map of Century Village.
so much.
So
That was a good idea.
welcome to all of them.
And I think I used it.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Thank you, Fausto. Okay, opening up for questions for the team again. Anybody? Michael, you're usually pretty good with questions. Yes, Sasha.
The only comment I had was that Joanne has access to the blog page. And it might be helpful if you describe some of the activities that you could do for associations on a day-to-day basis.
It's a great idea.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
great.
That's a very good idea.
A lot of associations, the board members are older and retired, some are brand new, and they have really no working experience. So perhaps a informational type video would be helpful and to introduce you.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you can provide that we can put out there to the community, we have the website with the blog page, we have the TV stations.
And the paper.
We have the paper, obviously.
You're welcome to write an article, anytime you wish, I'll publish it.
Thank you
Great,
so
thank
much.
you.
Yeah, I'll
Awesome.
work with you just because it does drive education to the community and
Yeah.
kind of build, the partnership on how we can add value. So that's great. Thank you guys.
It's an opportunity to touch all the residents, right, in whatever medium that they desire. So I appreciate you bringing that.
What you need to do with a water leak, or what you need to do with
Yep.
mold, or how you should handle it as an association.
Yeah.
Most of this we go through with Assured Partners, but it might be a good idea for you to have your own informational blog or video for Joanne to post.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, team. All the best. Thank you for your time.
We have to thank Justin for
Yeah.
providing a
Thank you.
box lunches.
Thanks.
You get kicked out before it's time to eat. I get this deal.
You're welcome to join us.
Thank you, Esther.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet
Stop
you.
recording.
Pleasure.
Yes.
In the event of,
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Melissa.
when you have to retain
Very nice to meet you. Thank you.
open up the road.
Very nice to meet you. Pleasure.
Operation as well.
Sir, very nice to meet you. Yeah, very nice.
Bye.
Very nice.